Agatak eng agapchetab kenyit nebo 2024 keyotitoi lagokyok eng imenjetab EMO. Agatak eng kainet nekim, eng kainet neturur, eng kainet nebo sobondo nebo koigeny, eng kainet nebo bororiet age tugul netiegei kobilei kapchi age tugul netiegei koigugei kainet nebo Jeiso ale chamgei. Umo lolonge. Utai chabwa microphone na kidogo. Kaigu boyo meatinye wagandet jibale kamanit. Maisa kwa busa kidogo. Nebo aeng amache ale kongoi. Nataka niwaambie vijana hawa ambao kwa sababu yao tuko hapa leo. Ninyi najua nikiongea Kalenjin itakuwa nikichanganya kidogo, lakini wacha ninene kwa lugha ile mtasikia. I want to thank you, sons, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. One, for accepting to be guided by your parents, led by your father, because we are a patriarchal society, and we are not ashamed about that. There are societies which are matriarchal. Kalenjin society is patriarchal. Those who are listening in Kenya and out of the country, here, the very foundation of our culture, majority of African society is patriarchal. And we will not accept any other definition given by any agitators who are fighting for what they call equality, they call it inclusion. These very nice terms, they are deconstructing social values of the world to pave way for a colorless society. What has kept the African community strong and growing and surviving against all the challenges is our social order. And our social order is as this. And I want you to listen, that young men, thank you for accepting to walk in the path of your parents and accepted to come for the rite of passage. Rite of passage is a very important and cardinal principle of our society because it separates innocency and prepares you for great awareness and accountability in life. A man is prepared to take over at the right time as a father, as a leader, as a protector of the society. That is one of our cardinal values and the protection of our value system that makes people to divine what is wrong and what is right. So sons, thank you for accepting to walk in the path of your parents. I want to thank you, the fathers, for trusting us and trusting this program that it will be profitable to your children. Thank you, mothers, for trusting us. And you are able to persuade your husband that I want my son to go through EMO program, as he was also, thank you, fathers, for persuading your women, your wives, to accept that this program works. I have this message for you. We will not disappoint you. Have you seen the kind of a person we have given to be the chair? A very serious Kenyan. Kingo kagigoji kutebenya jare dengyu giura gingwon. Iura ngwony kimongot ko mong che mortoi tumdo kole kitinye tumdo en ole kile mortoi kuyo kimortoi in show nobo en tuga pande akole kitinye tumdo en ole kile akelipani siling chetet rok omangalak chekekuren asisian. It is a cult. Kiamwa mitumin amen kekonori boyot Ibrahim koech boisiek chekiechen chekitoi maendeleo en kolinyo. Kokiamwa ale ngot koibu tugukab asisian komolochindosi ak mongiki kolegit. And I want to repeat the same today. Kiyotitoi lagok en Kitengela without fear and without any contradiction of my statement. I am an elder with a lot of experience and a well-read scholar. I take time to study, and by the time I make pronouncement, go to Chigoruchi kabisa kwen kabisa mamuji amas bororieta kolenjin amwajini ngalek chebo iman. So gobin le kabete ko sab ne ko sabe. So when I said, if you go back, not back, if you cultivate what you are calling Assyrianism, you are actually cultivating a cult that can never stand the test of time. In a period of 6,000 years, there has been 4 major civilizations that have ruled the world. None of them has Assyrianism in it. And those which worshipped idols and even had a bit of Assyrianism have collapsed, and even communities that were persuaded by the same have disappeared into the rubbish pit of history as a civilization. We had the Egyptian, Mesopotamian civilization. We had the Babylonian Empire. We had the Persian Empire. We had the Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire. And then we had the Roman Empire, which is still going on up to now. It is in different stages. It broke into 2. The eastern part of the empire, which followed the Orthodox, and then the western part of the empire. We had also another mini empires that rose up from the major empires. One was the French Empire and the Ottomanian Empire. And then we had the British Empire, which ruled the world from the 3 islands of Britain. In fact, they used to sing that the Great Britain, where the sun never sets, if you are in the east, you will have Britain having the sun shining. If you are in the west, when it is dark in the west, it is daylight in the east. British Empire, which was, all of them were led by major religions of the world. And one of them is Christianity. We have 2 empires which are fighting to come to see whether the Western Empire will collapse. And we are now in the tail end of its, in fact, the Western Empire is on its lowest form in terms of moral values. It is soon going to collapse and give way to either of the following. Number 1 is what we call the New Age, New World Order, which is now preparing the world for it. The second one which is struggling to take over is the Islamic Empire that is trying to use the power of oil and the sword of Islam to bring down every other culture and change the whole world. They are strategizing to take over Africa. They are strategizing to take over Europe. In fact, they are migrating to Europe. They are buying the churches. They are converting them into mosques. And even the New Age movement is converting the churches into clubs and converting them to social, what you call malls. And that is where we are going now. A conflict between the new world order and what we call religious conviction, either led by Islam and then followed by the Eastern and Oriental religions, which include Hinduism, it includes Shintoism, it includes Buddhism. Hinduism control about 1.4 billion people. Buddhism control about 0.7 billion people. And Shintoists of Japan are controlling about 0.3 billion people on earth. Christianity, which is the largest religion in the world, we believe as the prophetic believers that just before that particular time comes, there are two things that is going to happen to the Church of Jesus Christ, according to the prophetic dispensation. One is that before all these come to realization, the church will experience what is called rapture, the secret taking away of believers to go out of the world. The second thing that is going to come is that there is going to be a collapse of system in the world. And what leading that collapse system is what we call economic crunch. The system we have now, the IMF, the World Bank, the BRICS, which is rising up, this is the beginning of disintegration. Soon, this economic system will not work. And it will bring in the second thing that I want to tell you, the world dictator. The world, soon the world will want a ruler that will rule the world. And this is what I want to tell you. We are asking ourselves, how will our people survive? 2,000 years ago, God in His wisdom has given us the highest altar. And this is what we plant the cross on it. The difference with us, in 5% can boy walk in, alentum da engine, offensive to the cross and to Jesus Christ. 95%. It is about discipline, it is about order, it is about direction, it is about responsibility. And I say that recently over and then we had 5%. The 5% as theologians, we said we are going to remove into the engine kwagenge gogorosiot. Amugiwe kele gorosiot ne o Kristo. Kwa hivyo mage ndeni gorosiot age. Okwe umong gorosiot ap engine oliginde ni neori. We know everything and the details oligindoi. Kiki fashioning after the Moses gorosiot ne giba Musa. Kyo kaske tenirire ta Musaya. Kyo kaske Musaya. Itene upse kyo kaske upse tene mise. Kolegibo ndamarire ta Musaya ta magin. It is actually about Red Sea. It is about the crossing of the Israelites, people crossing from Egypt to the land, the promised land. It is a corrupted form of the name of Musa. Therefore, we are connected in terms of culture and religious conviction to the nation of Israel. Ngot ko gimagi lago ga Israel jagi bettigo mastab Samaria soko jorge ko manai jigo gigi boitin ga Abraham, because our culture, our tradition tuguk jagi nemu goro sekcho ko gigera okta ko Israel. Then Jesus came in the New Testament ko teganova gorosio, and that is why kile lago kyo grani kap korosutap Kristo. Kumaugas ngoto. Kwagere batirio logotem goleng koip ko magibege kutungi korosiota ke korosiot negitinye ko nebo Jesu Kristo. Lakini tungdanin tugul koya ondautik tugul ne tugul chabutik tugul chebo Kalenjin 95%. And one of them kogoro shot. Number 2, ko syllabus. Kogi improving the syllabus konyo barak. Asokabit konamgei akpiteta betu seju in preparation for the next generation. Makase tu yani. To kase. Kali. Kogi sakane. Kogi chop curriculum. So skigo namge ako lingi bendi. Emeritus tabrani. Tinya kitema le to teginja majamwa. Amuga leja ba yob tum. Kimache program kwa kuyu. Kuya ako barasta chairman. Kuma maje I will spend even a single time. Ngape atite meranit ko genyu. Kage nyoru karibu 2,000. This program, I confirm to you, it works. Lagok tu tegen ayeng som angwan tegi be koi mouse. Ako ta chege bendi tu. Ko ginge mang ko agi bar koi tu mwek tukul ko bata arure yue. Tegi ko ne. Ko gi moi we boy sekte chen ko loweri. Yeit kai. Ben tuguju koi mouse. Kongo nyoge mengen na ituga konyo ko urega tumdo. Lakini chito nengom kongen kole kindoi ano ne tebe ngonyit ole mi. Toror konyit en tanyang muren. Kumo kase biju. 2,000 of them. Kibaibaen boisyeju kanyo moiwok kwanisyek. Aba moiwok jebioso kibaibaen this program. Sere. Nenga moya le saweki. Sere. So this program works. And therefore, tagi mache tagi yap tena in somok angwan. Asege unde kuwa genyoru mutireni kyo titolago. In pro Yosef tol jaba Kalenjin. So we want to maintain the quality. It is not a quantity but a quality. Pichu kato na tumu tegeri wa kwenda banoli kuma mato magenge. Iboros toge tum. Kango chorge tum done gibara marigin. Apoyot ke masop. Wait 1940. Ondu lejengle mbuzolin. Wait 1940. Korogrogen dumdane gitamge tinye nebo riombut negitesto jego. Isa veristan. Wait 1964. Koga landa ngarieta barab chemngeno. Muchongoi. Kawegas. Kapkawe kole utapchige oli. Konyo kenyisiek alak artam ngoite kenyitab 1982 ai kochei tumdo eng Turkana eng ole kikure Logori. Kokwer tumdo Turkana kong'ete amut akoi karon. Nekitita kele biik che kakutuny boisiek che boisie tumdo ko ng'etik chemaba tum. Kotebe boiyon nebo kokwenyu chorwa nekikose ng'alekab Turkana ako kikakiyochi kiitach Turkanek akokochi tumdo. Koleji hata wewe na wewe mnakuja kupiga magoti hapo, nakuja kubariki vijana wakienda kwa ile tohara yetu. Koleji Samuel, mimi najikiri nini? Mudhe. Kolegenu matingu mawatum, kolegokia sijengetai. Ara meche sokona ine kosiro. Kwa njoro boyo konne chor ganyu ngolong ile mbuso le jabo itabajiri. Kotota kiberber ka kakoit mwisho tumdo. Nikikilen tumdab Kalenjin manailim nai nandi ageyo panai tolinyo ko nailim bus ale iwako ni ko kakobek ngalekab tumdo. We need to rethink on how to manage this initiation program and make it better for our people. In 1984, we had serious theologians in Pan-Africa University. I give credit to my departed brothers taking me theology to Tupchenyu Arab Kevin Francis, who brought me up in evangelism. Paul Arab Chelimo Gubunu Marakweta. Jonah Arab Koech Negikwa Taita Jehovah. Paul Poit Gubunu Komastab Keyo Kikwagne Taita Jehovah. We sat down at Bigalak Agijeru Tumda Kalenjin in the Mesa, and we studied it from the beginning until the end. Agetebe Jehovah gele ginere kine sokowal jumbe to me agonere ginere kine Mungu. What is so offensive about this? Kogi gibe through finally gebe kenyoru gele very few things che gima go nyolu ko wirta jumbe because amele gima go nyolu amu gima go ngen. Gigale deny these people their culture and they will be ordinary people who can be called ravagers. Kaya experiment in 1985. Kitaune nyota kaya titano lago. Amu agilenge ger lago kaya titang kanisa. Komang ugipye chikityo ngantenda ngoli nako komang sang ko gimulelan ngete. Kenya ko baje bagupka ko betyo motire ne kaya tita. Chuki chamgo chule tumda ko gararani dene ko mangale ngete. Nangay tuko gere ko le tuki gergongo. Ule boya tayo gerga kiasa wil. Negilenge le ko betyo la ko kira tumda kanisa, o betyo la ko kira tumda kipka. Amu ngete ba kipka ko me ko tinye motirenik, yo ni kitane me ko tinye surwali, ko egene andane nyo ko biyo ni me ko me ki ko tungai December ko biyo ko ite Januar ko ni banye di muguli tu banye so ko sagi to gara tap mano kai. Nei tu ilegi ko testa bangi ko nyoko ngem torusiege menjo. Ata ben na ko lei. How can we tolerate this? Koi mengal yo ne boy. Koi mengal yo ne ko produce two different men belonging to the same generation. I will big up Kalenjin. Koi mengal yo ne ba somo. Kanget murenchu. Ko chika bangipka. Ko kimegi tuje bioso. Kacham so manet kwanyik. Amu kingeten kanisa geri bagamet. Ko chula kwanyi we more enlightened than the men. Ko we mureni ko kungwe neno le gimi. Ko butagis korigab. Muren juta ko isek chegi. Chagi kisiche 1965. Ko tigiba 50, 65. Ako togos anan 60, 65. Ako togos. Chagi sub ko ba school. Ko ba mureni kipka. Ko ba TV kanisa. akinet akonera kamet kinet konai ng'oliotab Jehova kotun yekituiyo en kot kosumerchigei kou cherungisok chemi kaptabore tobenikei kitugul kere bo murenet kole ngumenge kikorkoni kotebie kole nakine kwondo huyu mzee wangu hana habari kikonai kwondo ni kikoyata kabwatutik kikoet somanet ngen kole yekibwoni kaa kitoroch akikonon akot mauya kokwonge murenetab Kalenjin yekachamin murenetab Kalenjin komaibun mauya iborun warwa nemi biik kole witobin warwetab tuimet mi yo komangu chepto nebo Kalenjin komeche kelechi hani komesikini mwan Kalenjin ikure kumiat it became a bit kokon kemarkat koimechi pochunchun ebketoben kele the problem is let us go back to the factory and refocus our mentorship. Finally, the fourth experience we had, koek distorted ngalekab chengetab mokornotet amu kiatinye kesabani murenik kokikichobe keny kocheng mali kochengen tany kityo. That is why majority of us chekibo kenyisiek chukibo baby boomers born in 1945 akitokosoi 1965 and then those who followed akoi 1980 kebendi kaa kila Friday kemukuktoi kengete Nairobi kebe ketobeni teta agenge en village keboisien about 50-100,000 yeitu akeribe teta nebo 17,000. We appeared naive really. Aketech kot en kaa neo wakimokoren ketech kot nebo unenge reresik aketebe kapkasi en Nairobi for all the 40 years tunekite kosutup kot amakitinye tuk chekiteke in the next house. Our economy went wrong. Let me not belabor by telling you much, but I said then we went out to study on how to manage our people. It had an impact also in the church. Amungongete nyisek chukibara mnyigei nekiyesyo kwa tumu. Kule kaibia tumi wala simisa na iksekesa cheisho. And for a period of 100 years, kongeringi tumure nigen kanisa kwa changa jebioso. Ako choto kame to 30% or 3 out of 10. Kumanamda kalwale ngaliotab Jehova. Ongas koit 40 solo komanda kole tu. Tungo wekse kanisa ko yobegele kologa chamte kane anyamaja kuji kanisa so wo yotab kanisa ko tito yobegele mewo mi kiepo okibesi kanisa mapema. We asked ourselves, what is the problem? Kiyo ne murenju komanda. Yetoben kele kiribi chwa identity nenywa kobe tukcheito kanisa tamukikimit ako kele we are going to return them back. Ngikochin tumdo biikab Kalenjin kuye kiu akeiste kityo tuguk chemokosindos ak ng'oliotab Jehova. En betutab rani amache alecho kongoi. Next year ako komwoiwo board it will be even better than this. Kakengalal kingalal ak ministry ngete last year nebo national construction na bita nebo barabarosiek ne kokonech oyot president kobun ministry nenyi kokone barabarana kotiekweche koyu. Kimoche ketar kityoletab kiwanjani en plotisiek chekong'etu tutugin ak ketinye the club nekimoche biikab Kalenjin sokonomen tuyeng'wong exclusive club. Inyoni chito agenge nyochut kityo konyage nebo oeng ko chito agenge chut kityo kityo sil kusekemiat sil kusekemiat wemo ityanyu ngam logoiwek kyok achegei akewektegei gaa. Ngobwa biikab Markwete kotinye tuyenywa kobwoni yoto, kobwa chebo Nandi kotinye tuyenywa kobwoni yoto. Exclusive club nekergei ak nobo Nairobi club wapi kila mahali tutaweka hapa sikisikie kasenge. Amalo koborosteiwok chairman nebo investment nokonomwech nyokonyandani namwech nyokonyandani tugul mi nekikal korok 6.5 kamwaini kongoi sigik ak biikab emoo chetachi kisib kwal aleni kongoi amu kialwech 6.5 acres Only to 12, is it 12 or 12 or how many? 12, only to 12 acres. Kya ke jamde? Ko jamme jagai jita tulwe negi ka kule ko jamme kabisa kule. Kalya unde ki to matwale tete lage mege no ke so men. The EMO Investment Limited mornet neba mornati ke leji obonam obualwe wal ko bunjoge sege ale na ke walengo kete ote sigito silingete sokobit ko toretin so sigagi chegin shareholders. So we are done finishing. So toki jeli mo ko to mielji ga blow then you all ange to tegen kapisa wal getar. Then we are going to sell shares about the club. Kamaje premium. I think it's about 100,000 or something. But Kenya big check about 300, so it is enough to begin and build the club. Konyo nebo kwamu. Senginyo niyo komiyo le tuye jimbiga pale ni. Gumoro wa kwa wonata. Anoma jo ngi unote gari ga big segele jaga we tuye. Si waga te ku joru enyu loya ya no gyo na tiengela bise ala. Ko guti. Madate yo ge ona te nyo ge te jin nebo ga en. Kumo gastar biju. Amachat atwa isenga le gabrane. Asia beruro ngumrinju. Kibau emonira ogone Jehova emet. Ibaru emet kipchirchir. Kingo some kelejini imuchi man ingere jiji kole ji otongore ko tole imuchi man arab se ure imuchi man arab mai much ele mamon da ngar nama onge ke pertung nang konget obesia sena ama jo mo ichibi ga kolenjin ulomi te tukul ngalega kabana ngalega beme ko chita ge tukul negi gi murto go tono ji baisye negi go tai samburta kando inate ko magi ge se senjin amunga lepta beme magas owase ama jo gas college ne ulomi te tukul Oise ne mega sei koma woni ntangoch ongo mena igo na tuga ongo maitui otu yam ne chenge ole kandoi tul cheki go chigo e governors iki go chigo e wajumbe iki go chigo e senators iki go chigo e neage tukul jita neraga nam Bible ogo murta wa muma wa mjinga jare eguren kiko tait samburta beme ejaren ne boporor kongi tebi go ichi komwa go lenjingo uni toror mungu go sir boror kusir chichok kubawa sa ngot komi governor nego temene ko kweri gaunti na nyi ngot komi governor nego bitorset engando inatenyi ago mi bororiet ap Kalenjin ko mabate bi ga Kalenjin jebege waksoti ko woro twala kami barabara ko lago gap chip sarbuchin ki yani ge chigir waget Koma kas chikil bik chaba EACC, ko chikil bik chaba ga BCI, kongo kikwam chi tugu ga chi, kemut kwa gotini. Magiyan libi ga Kalenjin, kipoyo chibek, ngecheret, nipagando inatet tabemi. Wala se murene tagere, ngoba kimnyege, ana panyongi, ana ne. Nameke pali angi tagrungut, agot tubisye. Murene to mi yate suet ko magi ko nin jamjine te Kalenjin ya injokta pik chegi chamchin koye visa na kochubis ko boisiek chekikong'et iyatet cholen tokominen netobo nengomeninen kole kotitochi lakwa kitikin murenet takwendi kobaru mali komatinam samburtab emet akiyabuch long'et akichubisie en emeng'ung. Etan mamiten nyo iyoe chotok sokergeitu ak ng'o ama ikergei ak achek. Kosom ale kondoi Kipchirchir en emoni komokany kesokosil long'et komi songoliet barak ak kekurenchen keikei chepsorbuchin. Ongekonyit kiboitinik tugul chemitei kongobeny ongiken akoi 2027 ko chito kirgit nemi bii nenduok saruraik inai ile matinye chego takonwai saruriet aikere moita kirgit kosimoe konwai siru iweyu ko saruriet inai ile matinye chego no elote no ake anake we ile kilio wendi bujer ogen akoi 2027 biikab Kalenjin amwae kemi tumin rani keyotitoi murenik ale makinyeren samburtab emet tegis ko ngoit 2027 ko ngot chi tugul nemaimuch boisiet kirukto kwo gaa ak kimutu korik alak kobokorib mabeku ng'wony makitore tugukab emet kergei ak korotik chemi teta chematore busienet kule okosu mabeku taxes chebo emoni takotokochoru asista en kong'asis akorekto ikule akoi isuu kityok kenyoririrchini kiy ne kabo komet inyegei kabo boror nyowakat ak ichubisiote uyo kikibanden en emeng'ung 2027 obosom ng'echerok mokochi kaina nea kounotetab emoni kale okonyit kandoindetab emoni moibwech sornon amami kiy neotose akatugul. Koste bichu anan makase aisurun komakas kokase chekasamu it is life. Alechi bikyok ongekonyin kot tekisto kounotet kingobo emoni arap Moi ko kikichil en olin tugul kelechi kisomgei ko Kipsigis Nandi ano kele ngobichitinye en olin bo sang ngosamis Muria kobo kot nebo tarangoit kaa kotinye ole rue kotinye ole imung'e komanyoni konyokosakan ng'alekab Nandi anan konyokosakan chebo Uasin Gishu anan konyokosakan chebo Keiyo anan kosakan chebo Tugen kimache kelechin kokwech olep gaa kisabisan asome ng'etikyok cho kikisiche tugul okasechi koto kikiberberen ko kitakimutu komet konyo gaa. Ala kingeker kameng'ung kwendi ketabel ole wetito asitondo ketoben kit okeker uyo tobek ng'weny komakimut kwa gaa amu kimache nyokosikwech murenik sikwech tibik ipkekur boiyot kele kanyoru lakwa nebo kabanum momake ng'alekab kaptumenet okase notok kelechi boiyot kakenyoru chebo kabanum kingalen otunis kolechon weri boiyot ake arap Kosgei kele kiweri chepyosan lakwana kosomin we kinge koyotok kele maimuko tany lakini muko lagok ara imuch imutu kobek ko aita maitinye tany alechi tabara nyalilda notinye we satesi ake ole arawano kole ui kain kotokchon en Chesibon kole korcho ko kitun ortinwek tugul sere itusine ko sere sara kimwae ne mang'alek ko jo nekere nyekiyou mang'alek cho ara kosomo kemi tumi biikab Kalenjin ng'alecha mite chobo kabanas chobo ne onomchin ng'wony chi netinye makosa keboisie constitution nebo Kenya kerap lakini makiboisie wakat akinye kewokyo en kot orit keikei lagok chematinye sigik otinye Jehova o lagokyok kimi ako tom keu kimi Kenya takesoptosi kalya omache oketkei osobe aketinye komi boisiek emoni Mo muchi onyere na kopitor kandoinatet kimi. Ara ogasa kamwa kwa boyo. Kimi Kitengela yaditoi ibini nyonei. Lebo mwisho, I want to appreciate our fathers who founded this country. In 1960, we had two protagonistic parties major in this country. One was KANU, the other one was KADU. KADU was a party majorly of the pastoralists and small communities. It was advocating federation and federal system of government. The only mistake we had at that time is that we had fashioned political parties after tribes. We had what we call ethnic mobilization as we prepared for independence. The other one, which was led by Kenyatta, that one, KADU, was Ronald Ngala and Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. Then this one other was led by Jomo Kenyatta and Tom Mboya and Jaramogi Oginga Oyot. In 1963, we went to election with the two competing policies. Kenyatta told us, let us go for a centralized political system. Let us not go ethnicized political system. And we went to election. For those who can remember, the results of the election was that we were fighting for 129 seats in parliament. KANU won 83%. 83 seats in parliament. And KADU won 46. That means Kenyan spoke, isn't it? Then Kenyan went for a centralized politics. As we do cultural issues today, I want to request Kenyans, let us not go to the direction our fathers refused. In November 1964, KADU and KANU was merged into one party so that we built a centralized country. We cannot sustain any move again towards ethnic mobilization. I want to advise that please let us not go for ethnic mobilization. It will tear the country into pieces. You know, in few countries, and I will not mention their names, one country in East Africa built their political system grounded on ethnic mobilization. And then religious people came in and began to bless it. In fact, they are the ones who became the cause of division. In a period of about 60 years, they witnessed the greatest genocide in our history that killed their people with the participation of the church. The church, according to Timothy Logan, in his research, participated in that. I want to persuade us, and I persuade everyone in this country, that we mobilize our communities around cultures, but not politics. Let us go around cultures, how to mentor boys, how to mentor girls, how to bring up families which are strong, and avoid at all cost any mobilization that can put Kenya in a balkanized political state.